In mid-November of 2022, Bruce Thomas was inducted into the Farmington Hall of Fame. Born in Bonne Terre November 30th, 1957, Bruce Thomas would attend Franklin and Jefferson Elementary School and then would go on to attend Farmington Middle School and Farmington High School. Just to name a few things that Bruce Thomas did well at FHS, he was part of the Student Council, Honor Society, Symphonic Band, and the choir, and also played football, basketball, and tennis. He graduated in 1976 and would go on to join the Air Force after high school.
I just love watching things fly. I'd sit out at the airport in Farmington and watch planes fly around. You know, I'd see military jets flying down in southeast Missouri. You know, F-4s would go by nice and loud and everything. That's just what I wanted to do. So I told myself, you know, I'd like to be an astronaut sometime. A couple years later, I figured out that most astronauts were military pilots. So I started pursuing how can I become a military pilot. I had a neighbor who showed up, moved in next door, that was a Air Force colonel, had just retired, and I got his wisdom of how to get in the military. Well, we trained weekly. You know, like I was a full-time guy out at Whiteman Air Force Base over there in western Missouri, and you know I'd fly usually 3 days a week. You know, and those days, you know, it's not combat. We're simulating combat. Well, we've got to fly all the way down to Fort Leonard Wood, you know, in Missouri to drop our bombs and the range and everything down there. So you're always training, but it's always you're flying the airplane. It's always fun. The A-10 was definitely the most fun because it was the most maneuverable. I flew it for 20 years. You know, so just me. There is no backseater. Even the first flight you ever fly in it, you're by yourself. It's not trying to hurt you, but it can do all kinds of things. It can, you know, drop bombs, shoot the gun. It can fly air-to-air combat. It just everything about the airplane is fun. Mm-hmm. Now, is it hard? Sure it is. I mean, you have to stay up on it. You know, a lot of things you're learning and forgetting and learning and forgetting all the time. You know, you're in a very dynamic aviation environment. I was an instructor pilot for a really long time. I guess in the A-10 for out of the 20 years, I think 13, 14 years of it, I was an instructor. So my job was normally teaching the guys on my wing. You know, I'd be leading the plane and I'd be teaching the guy next to me how to drop the bombs of the day or how we're going to navigate, or have some objectives of what we were trying to learn. And then as the guys got more senior, I'd fly on their wing so that they could learn how to lead. So it was always something going on. Like I say, it's a very dynamic thing. Things are changing all the time. We're adding weapons systems to our airplane, computers to our airplane, just all kinds of stuff that you're engaged all the time. It's never static. So flying fighters, you know, single-seat fighters is a very rigorous job. It's hard on your body. There's lots of things going on, and I was getting to be about 40 years old. Been flying for 18 years or so, and realized, okay, what am I going to be able to do for the next 20 years? And it's not stay in military and fly fighters. So I go, okay, what would be next? And the logical progression is to go to commercial aviation because it's very non-strenuous, you know, because you're just sitting there watching the airplane and taking care of the people behind you and all those things. It's totally opposite of a military flying, but you can do it until you retire. So self-preservation, and it paid well. It was a good way to make a living for the next 20 years. The guy, you know, my first officer, I was captain most of the time. First officer reads the checklist. I reply to what the stuff reads and everything. If he's flying, I'm flying. We're going back and forth. It literally every flight happened exactly the same way, and that's how you don't miss things. You know, because you get used to what the reply is. You get used to what's going to happen next. You know, you're not trying to go, we missed that landing. No, we didn't do that stuff. So, you know, I had many interactions with people, many people that would get on the airplane scared of flying and all those kind of things. And I used to just take them and bring them up to the cockpit and sit them down in my seat and pointed all of the backup instruments we had, all of the, different things that we had to make sure that the flight was going to be safe, And that was always rewarding to me, because by the time I got done talking to them, you could see that they really weren't scared anymore. Yeah, I'd show them the flight plan, how detailed it was, that how I knew that if I was going to take off at 8 o'clock, I was going to land at, the place 2.5 hours away at 10:32, because that's how detailed it was with the winds and everything. I mean, there's really nothing that we were guessing at. Everything was laid out, in the airline job.
Thank you, Bruce Thomas, for all your amazing work, and congratulations on being inducted into the Farmington High School Hall of Fame. This is Caleb Truman for BKTV, signing out.